Welcome all in the API testing with Postman session 6. In this session, we are going to learn that how you can transfer the data between the request and responses in the Postman flow, or you can say in the Postman collections. So for that purpose, let me open the Postman. In the last session, you have seen that I have two APIs in my collection, in my student API collection. I have two API requests, post, create a student and the get student by ID. So in the post request, you have seen that in the body part, there were three parameters: age, name, and subject. So to make it dynamic, I have done one thing. First of all, I created, you can say, three variables, actually not three, four variables in my environment. Like one is endpoint to make it dynamic, so that in every request, I don't need to set this hard coded value, the endpoint of my API, like HTTP localhost 80. So I created one variable here, and for the three test data, age, name, and subject, I created three variables in my environment. So let me go to the environment, and this is the Pradeep environment. So I created these variables: endpoint, name, age, and subject here. Okay. Now, what happened whenever you have created these variables in my collection? What I'm trying to do in my create student, I'm just using the variables from the environment. Like in the environment, we have a variable age, name, and subject. So here I'm using the, instead of using the hard coded value, I'm just keeping the value in the variable of environment, and then I'm using the environment variable here. How you can use the environment variable? Simply use double curly bracket, and in between the double curly bracket, you can give the variable name here. So whenever you are going to use this variable, it will actually pick the value from the environment. So let me run it. So when you run it, you will see it is picking the data from that. And let me show, click on the body, and you can see in the response, it is giving me the ID 32010. So currently what is happening in my post student, I'm fetching the data from the environment variables, and then I'm using here, and just sending the request here. Now, if you want to test the get student by API, actually manually, I'm copying the ID from the response of post create student request and going to this get student ID, and just keeping the that value here. When I just doing it here, I'm just clicking on save button, and I'm running it. So when I run it, it will just send the data of the 3210. You can see here, currently it is the old one. So let me run it again. When I run it again, you can see it is returning the data 32. So currently I'm doing this process manually. Like once I'm just running the create student API, and then from the response, I'm copying the data of the ID, and then I'm going to the student ID, and here I'm doing it manually. So I will show you that how you can make it automated. Like from the response of the create student, you can just fetch the ID value, and then you can transfer the value in this particular request of get student by ID. So for that purpose, I will do one thing. First of all, you can do one thing. You can create a variable in the environment, and I will use that environment variable here. So let me do one thing. Let me copy this data here. Okay, let me copy this here. Now I will go to environment here, and environment variable, environment section. I will go to the Pradeep environment. I will create a new environment variable like ID. So I'm creating a variable environment. In the environment, I'm creating a variable ID, and here let me pull the, this is the value. So I'm just in the both section, like initial value and the current value, both I'm putting it here. So let me save it. Okay, so now you can say in my environment variable, I just default as a default value, I set the value of ID 3210. So now you can do one thing. I can use this ID variable in my get to string by ID URL. So instead of that, I can use the here. So I will do one thing. Instead of that, I can use the variable here. So you can do one thing. You can set as a variable. Okay, and you can set as a variable, like click on set as a variable, and I'm using this one ID. So what will happen? You can see automatically the value which is it is picking from the environment. So let me click on ID. So what happened that currently this value is coming from the ID which is set in the environment. So if I click on it, you will see it will fetch the data here. So suppose take the example any variable. So if I go to the environment and suppose take the example, I'm setting the initial value something like that 3209. So you can say I set the value 3209 here. And if I go to the my collection part, go to the get star ID, and you can say when I send it, it will actually pick the data of ID from the environment. That is actually 3209. So let me run it. So you can say it is easily reading the value from the environment. Now I will make a trick. What is the trick? That I will go to the my post student post create student API, and here I will do one thing. When the response will be completed, I will write a code to fetch the data from the response. And for that purpose, in the same create student API, I will go to the test section. In the test section, what you have to do, you have to write the code to fetch the data from the response. This part, how you can do it? For that purpose, you don't need to make so much effort. You can do one thing. At the right side, there are so snippets are there, so you can simply score it and you will get option. This one, response body convert XML body to a JSON. What is the benefit here? You can say it is easy to handle the JSON data. So in your API, I understand that the API is returning the response in the XML format. So first of all, we'll do one thing, because we have a inbuilt, you can say, snippet there to convert the data into the JSON format. So using this one, what we'll do, this code, what will do, it will convert the response into the JSON object. So this whole data will be converted to the JSON. So in the JSON structure will be same, only the format will be different. So in the JSON also, result will be the parent, and then the child of the result is ID. So you can say result is the parent tag and ID is the child tag here. So I can do one thing. I got the JSON object here. Now I can fetch the data from the JSON object. So it is very easy. So if you want to fetch the data, the syntax is that this is your JSON object. In the JSON object, you write double quotes, and in the double quotes, in the square bracket, you write double quotes, and you can give the name of the topmost, you can say, topmost element. So result is my topmost element. So I will write JSON object. So it will fetch the result. Then I want to go to the child of a result, that is ID. So simply, again, you have to make a square bracket here, and the square bracket, write a double quotes, and just give the name of the child. So actually this whole expression, what will we do, this JSON object result will JSON object result ID will return the value of the ID. So I will do one thing. I will store this in a variable. Like you can say, I can create a variable with the name of student ID. So I will keep that variable in the left side. So in the left side, I'm creating a variable here. So now what it will do, it will return the ID, which is actually 32, whatever is the ID at runtime. I have stored it in student ID. So in the response of create student API, I got the ID from the response of the you can say create student. Now I can do one thing. I will make a trick. I will set this ID in the environment variables. We know that when this post create student request will be completed, then the control will go to the get student ID. So I will make it a trick. What is the trick? Before going to the student ID, I will actually set the value of environment variable ID with this student ID. And for that purpose, I can do one thing. Simply, I have a, you can say, function here, or again, you can use a snippet for that. Let me show you. You can simply see, and you can see there is an option set an environment variable. So automatically PM is object PM dot environment dot set, and here you can give the variable name. So what is the variable in my environment? That is ID. So if you click on that, you will get, this is the ID. What value you want to set? This is the value of the student ID. So I will place this value at the time of setting. So what will happen when this code will run? It will set the ID. It will set the ID environment variable with the value of this student ID, and this student ID is nothing. It is the ID which is getting in the response of post. So now what will happen? It means when this code, when this step will be completed, the value of the ID variable in the environment will be set with the latest value of the response of this ID which I'm giving. Now when the control will go to here, till the time the ID value which is set in the environment with the latest value, that automatically will be used here, and I will get the response. You want to see here? Just see here. So I can show you, first of all, I will show you individually. So let me show you. If I'm running it, send. So you can say it is giving the data here. You can check the ID is getting 3203211. Now you can see automatically when this code is completed, this step is completed, this code is already executed. Okay. And if you want to see when this code is executed, now what is the latest value of ID variable in the environment? That is 32111. You want to check it? Go to there here, and you can do one thing. If I will put my cursor here, you will see what is the latest value of 3213211. It is already set. So you can check it also. If I send here, it also return the data of 321. So in this way, you can transfer the data from one request to the another request, or one response to the another request, using creating environment variables and using this test script. By transferring the data, you can pass any data from one place to another place. Now you can do one thing. If you want to see, I can run the whole collection here. So let me check that everything is here saved here. Now let me show you. I can run the whole collection here. So let me click on this one, and let me click on run collection. And when you click on run collection, it will run the whole collection, means both the APIs together. Let me run it. Run student application. When it's run here, you can do one thing. You can see here view results here. When you go to the results here, you can see here you are getting here. Test is not there, but here you can see the result is getting. And if you want to check, you can go and result check the response here. It is giving here, so it is also running here. So let me do one thing. Okay, let me run thing. Let me show you the thing when it is completed. Okay, I have not checked the result. Where is the result here? Da. Console here. Let me check the console. Here you can see the latest result here. It is not here, but in the say you can see this is the latest here. 3210. You can see here. This is the get API, which is getting the 321. Why it is getting the 321 word? Because that is the latest one. Let me run it again one more time, and that will clear doubts. So let me clear this one. Okay. So again, I'm running the whole collection here. This is one, and let me run the whole collection here. So how you can run the whole collection? This one, and run collection. And you can see this time just focus on the console also. You can see everything. Both the things are in. Last time the ID was generated 3212. So let me run the collection here. When I run the collection, and you can see the console. In the console, this is run posts. When post is run, you can see it use the data, and the response it get the generated the ID, and definitely you know that the ID will be 3213. So in the get student automatically it is setting the ID. So in this way you can set the data from the request, from one request to another request, or from one response to the another request. So you can transfer any type of data using this you can say using this script part here. And you can see here not only this one, there are so many other type of scripts here. Snippets are there too, so you don't need to write so much code. You can use it. In the further session I will show you that how other type of code snippets you can use for your data transfer. Okay, so now I hope you like the this video, and you will understand, you will utilize in your API testing that how you can transfer the data. Okay, and now if you have liked the video, you can click on the like button, and if you have not subscribed my channel till now, you can subscribe it. Thank you.